Boom, shake my hand one more time. 365 Trading Academy. My name is Leroy James Myceri, and welcome to another video. As you guys saw with the title, Trading Results, why I will never stop using smart money concepts, supply and demand, understanding institutional order flow processes, buying where big institutions are buying and selling where they're selling, understanding liquidity, all that kind of stuff. And the reason I'm bringing this up, and I really should do this every Friday. I keep saying every time I have a losing trade on Fridays for swing trade, I will do a review for you guys. And it's been a little bit hectic. I haven't been trading that as frequently as, some of our swings took time to get triggered. And we haven't had that many losing trades as well to speak about. But in this video, guys, I was reflecting on Thursday and Friday, right? Before NFT, after NFP, same thing. It was the end of the first financial quarter of 2022. 2022 was a bit tricky. There was a war. There were new aspects into the markets that had to be priced in, the Fed rate hike and all that kind of stuff. And I was really kind of like sinking that in. More importantly, as a flow, we're actually closing positions, locking positions, and trying to see where we can get out just so we can get that cash flow growing again for payments and all that kind of stuff. But what I found interesting was I started to work backwards in preparation for today's war room. I'm making this video on the 3rd of April on a Sunday afternoon. I've got a war room happening at 4:30 p.m. I hope you watch it. It's actually brilliant. War room number 61, where I'll be walking you through different assets that we haven't looked at in a very long time. So look out for that video. AUD, NZD, AU CAD, silver, NZD CAD, USD China yuan, Euro NZD, Pound NZD, dollar Hungarian franc, USD SEK, Pound SEK, S&P 500 US 30. So that's what I look at in today's war room, dropping premium live on the channel about 4:30 p.m. But real quick, I just wanted to make a quick short video and just to ask you guys, for those of you, specifically those people who are not new to the channel, you come to these war rooms all the time. I want you to start building a link, some type of responsibility over your trading. I found this incredibly interesting. And I can do another follow-up video, by the way, if you guys want me to. But all I did was I looked at the month of March. Tomorrow, Monday, I'll be looking at February, and then I'll look into like some January trade calls. Right? You guys would already know I've already correctly called out the market recovery bottom, and I explained why. I explained why you can't always be right, but how you can get to a very specific place. But what I want us to do together in the next 10 minutes, very quick video, 10 minutes, is, on the 365 channel, because of transparency, I think that's so important for someone who's always talking about what's going on. Now I have to verify something here. Right, on the 365 page, just give me 2 seconds. YouTube wants me to verify myself. So I'm going to do that in the background while talking to you guys, right? But on the 365 page, and I'm specifically referring now to the YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen, all my trade calls are done live, right? So they're not even pre-recorded. I do them live with you most of the time anyways at 4:30 p.m. And what I did on Friday afternoon into the evening was I looked at War Room 57. There, everything is carefully recorded. War Room 57. I looked at War Room 58, War Room 59. And just to see all the trade signals that I gave out. And it turns out, right, through and through, since the beginning of March, and War Room 57 is the war room that actually puts us there, right there. It's since the beginning of March up until the end of March, so the last month of the financial quarter, there was only one stop loss hit in the trade ideas given out here. I repeat, since the beginning of March this year, out of all the war rooms we did, starting from War Room 57, 58, 59, and 16, if you come to the YouTube channel on the 365 page there, let's just make this a little bit more user-friendly for you. Right, there we go. And you go live. You can see right at the bottom, there's written weekly analysis. This is War Room 60, right? You just have to see them for yourself. 60, 59, 58, and the last one is somewhere at the bottom here. All these are our London sessions during the week, 57. Right, throughout all these war rooms, right, all these war rooms for the month of March, only one trade hit stop loss, and that's a difficult loss for me to even admit to, because that loss was actually AUD, USD. And if you're in our public Telegram group, while we were still on profits, I told everyone in the public Telegram group, lock, break even, or just get out, because the tides are turning. AUD is actually going to be strong, so I don't think that's going to last. So personally, when I give out that advice, I follow my own advice. So I broke even on that trade. I didn't make money out of it, but I definitely did not lose money. That's to say, in total, after 12 swings were given out in War Room 57, 58, 59, 60, right? If you look at War Room 57, most of those assets, we repeat them throughout the War Rooms for the next 4 weeks in the month of March. That's why today's War Room is special, because I looked at other assets. I didn't want to repeat the same stuff we have kind of like reviewed. But all of these trades have two things in common. They're either in profits, running, or price actually hasn't triggered. But we don't have a recorded loss. I want someone to prove me wrong. There's the stuff on the channel. It's all marked out there. All you have to do is go back to the charts, see what I said, where markets are going to turn, and see how prices come back. CAD JPY, those of you who are in it with me, this is from War Room number 59, by the way. CAD JPY is starting to slowly move, and build in those profit momentum. I might as well just bring this up right now, and then you guys can decide later on for yourselves what you want to do. But CAD JPY is slowly but surely close, to a point where I would want to lock some profits, or at least break even. We can see that right now we've got a nice, beautiful supply that price rallied into on Friday and at the beginning of the New York session. Right, and we're hoping for a downward continuation. But if I were you tomorrow, I would definitely be locking. Remember, these are long-term swing trades. I like taking those from H4 daily time frame, supply or demand zones. On the daily time frame, that's all that's happened, right? Nothing crazy, nothing much has happened, right? Markets, if we are lucky, if the war stuff happens and then the negotiations happens and oil starts to cool off, this could be something, this could be a marvelous sell. But if things start to change, on the daily time frame, we already have the makings of a bullish engulfing pattern, or almost a bullish engulfing pattern. Yeah, no, it is definitely. Then there's not always a good sign for sellers, right? So I would be considering closing this trade when markets open tomorrow. Completely up to you, right? So let me just start from the very beginning, right? So let's look at charts on War Room 57, 58. So 58, we're at the dollar DXY. I think I already showed you the results of this particular trade. And I'm just asking you guys, why I'm doing this is, are you guys aware of the consistency that these war rooms have, and are you taking them seriously enough? The signals are for free. Nothing here is for sale. All I'm doing is sitting with you every afternoon and going, look guys, buy here, sell here. I think this is gonna work, right? This was a War Room 58. We got a beautiful 1:5, right? This buy trade here was a 1:5 given out a while back. The next one on War Room 58 was gold XAUSD. I think gold is still at that weird level where I said, potential place for cowboys, not a good place for a swing, but markets are going to bounce there. I don't know if you guys remember this little, buy position. Markets traded all the way up, and then eventually price came back down. And I literally, still have the notes that I did for you guys. All these videos, all these trade calls, like I keep saying, they're labeled. You just want to rewatch 57, 58, 59, and War Room 60 that happened last week Sunday. Only AUD USD. Hit that stop loss, and that's because, and I did warn people about that, right? And I'm doing this because there's a growing worrying trend now, right? A growing worrying trend about whether smart money concepts works, whether supply and demand works. Guys, no trading in the world is immune to losses. That's number one. Trading strategies are very different. Okay, that's a reality. And the win-loss ratio of trading strategies is extremely different. But using something like smart money concepts, all it does, it gives you higher probability setups. You, the trader, are always going to be the problem. Your thinking is the problem. Your confidence is the problem. Your greed is the problem. And those are the things you need to work on before you easily jump out of a strategy, including those of you who are not smart money concept traders, those of you who love trading, supported and using indicators, right? It's not to say you can't make money with that stuff. For me, 9 years later, I know that stuff offers lower probability setups, number one. Number two, I also then have to deal with me as a human being, as a trader, my psychology and all that kind of stuff. But smart money concepts, guys, I cannot ever think of jumping ship, not now, nowhere anytime soon in the future. If you look at the pre-markets, the only data I have on markets when I was back testing smart money concepts went as far back as 1935 during the Great Depression, when I was watching those Goldman Sachs order blocks. USD CAD gave us a clean 1:9, right? And then this is the buy that we spoke about, and I said it's going to be a tricky buy because you can assume more sell down pressure, although we are watching for the dollar on the DXY chart. But this is nothing short of just lethal excellence, guys. These levels that we spoke about, the order blocks, people were like wondering, why are order blocks not working? Are order blocks not working because they're now being used for liquidity rates? And it's like, well, it depends, right? Your understanding of order blocks as just one part of trading is not enough. You need to have top-down analysis. You need to have, you need to master your areas of values. You need to also be able to actually point out that some areas of values have different rules, different imbalances are required. A certain amount of volume is required in trading. Or there are all these nitty-gritty things. There's a clean order block. There's a nice bite. There's 1:9 on USD CAD. We spoke about this in War Room 58. I just come to my channel. You have access. It's free on YouTube. This is absolutely insane. By the way, I'm not doing this to say I'm always right. I'm simply saying, for those of you losing the faith, don't blame the wrong thing. It's not the strategy. It has got nothing to do with the strategy. It's you as a trader. And that's a good place to start. I think that's a responsible thing to start. Am I doing everything? Do I have a trading journal? Do I have a system where I'm watching all my pending orders? Do I know when to break even, when to take profit? Do I understand how to track trades? How am I with risk management? Because 9 out of 10 times, if you have a poor strategy but good risk management, you always average out as a trader if you're trading in clusters, right? So this is a War Room 58, right? I apologize. I think my boy is, playing video games somewhere, so I'm bearing the lag of slow internet. But anyways, there's a video, War Room 58. Whenever it's done buffering, I'll go back to it. All these trades were given out to all of us in the war room. 1:2 on USD Swiss franc. This was quite a disappointing trade for me, but I'm not yet out. But it was, yeah. I thought we were gonna get more, right? But it's been a little bit of a difficult one, given all the things going on, right? All these things, guys, I marked them with you. Here's the sell zone that we spoke about. Almost 2 to 3 weeks ago. Markets eventually come back in halfway through the month of March, traded in and all the way down here, right? And the reason why I'm saying it was disappointing was it was a 1:2 and I had no choice but to get out. So I'm not in this anymore. I had no choice but to get out. So those of you who don't know, I like it when my trades give me 1:3. 1:3 for me overall, right? On a process of trading over months or at least a financial quarter, 1:3 is a good enough risk to reward ratio. But to take something at 1:2 could have tightened my entry points, but getting out of here felt like the right thing to do. At the time, granted, markets could continue to the downside in the next, following 3 to 4 days. So this is something to look out for. Those of you who are looking for re-entries. I could do another war room during the week for re-entries for all these trades that were in, right? But if this demand holds, right, we really are looking at price pushing all the way back in here. Right, and then if that's the case, then maybe I will rejoin. I'm not yet entirely sure. I have to do a proper analysis, right? But this was 1:2 on USD Swiss franc. There were some trade signals that I gave you in those 4 war rooms, like USD JPY, that have not been triggered yet. All right, so that's also important for my statistical analysis to bring that up. That not all trades were profitable, but absolutely most of those trades. In fact, most of them haven't given you a loss, I think is my point. You're not losing money. You're absolutely making money or waiting for your trade idea to be triggered, right? So here we had a perfect, monetary policy divergence, strong dollar, weak Japanese yen, strong, supply and demand levels. Eventually, USD JPY from a governing perspective, top-down approach, guys. Just keep your your systems, your supply and demand systems clean. Price arrived at the ultimate supply at 1:1, which you spoke about overall, right? And for me, the rules are I never buy inside a supply. I never negotiate with that rule. I love that rule. I honor that rule in my trading. And so top-down analysis, I've been waiting for a specific place to re-enter some buys. Unfortunately, I'm not in the sell, right? Which I guess I feel a little bit stupid for not being in the sell. But yeah, there's a potential buy area there. I've marked it in red because I don't like it. I don't like it simply because it is the first demand outside a governing supply, right? Normally the sell volume outside a massive supply, like a monthly supply in conjunction with the weekly supply, is always very strong. So the first demand are generally always liquidated. But looking at charts here, given how markets closed on Friday, right, this thing might be actually ready to go, right? We have to analyze DXY and see how markets are negotiating with the supply on the dollar and the DXY, right? But for the most part, you guys would know that this chart is one of the most hurtful charts in the history of trading, because we knew that this crazy momentum was going to happen, massive momentum upside. I kept talking about this weeks after weeks, but silly me, I wanted the lowest possible buy, and I just never got inside this channel. And so I missed out. I completely missed out. But for the most part, markets are slowly but surely shaping up. So maybe we might get a new bust, right, to the upside. So I'll be watching. So there are charts like this. There are trade ideas like this that I gave you guys where markets have not triggered yet. But it doesn't mean you've made a loss. You've definitely made a whole lot of chichilla if you're following, the stuff. There are other trade ideas. For example, in War Room number 59, if you go through how are we doing here? All right, so this is it. So the War Rooms are uploaded. I apologize for the quality. This one we're analyzing the Fed rate hike, right? The Fed was going to raise hikes on Wednesday, so I quickly did a War Room for you guys. Just to show you where US dollar pairs were going to be. But inside, the description box, or, all the assets that we looked at and spoke about are always inside the War Room. So you can actually track me if I'm lying. Go back and say the head trade of 365 Trade Academy is a liar, etc., etc. It's all there on the public channel. Then there are other trades like this as I wrap up this video. Euro USD, which we miss by a head trigger. This was freaking annoying. Euro USD, we completely missed, let me put it this way, I missed it by 4 pips, right? So I don't know who's in it, but I absolutely missed it by 4 pips. And just so we're all clear, there is one place that I'm willing to sell my kidney for Euro USD to be able to really maximize on a beautiful sale, and it's all the way up here. This was the last time markets created a monthly supply and a weekly supply before dropping. Then there's this new zone here, this monthly supply, so just above it, right? When we knew that Euro USD was still going to remain weak and all that kind of stuff before markets negotiated themselves to the March 2020 demand levels. Now, since then, it's been an issue for Euro to go back up to those levels. We've seen it dig a little bit down, but not actually make it all the way up. And then recently in War Room 59, right, we negotiated for a very short-term sell somewhere here, and you can see markets turned just before. I missed it, the tiny head trigger. So yeah, if you got into this, good for you. I personally missed this by 4 pips, right? But yeah, markets have created a bearish engulfing pattern, so it's going to be an interesting week for Euro USD. But like I said, at 4:30 p.m. today, anyways, there'll be new trading signals to kind of keep track of, right? How do I use these signals? I sit and forget. I understand that I can't time the markets all the time. I understand that there's no ways I can fully be present, be doing my life, teaching students, running my trading floor, and also always catching every single trade. So I never, number one, use market execution. Personally, I like setting my opinion orders. I'm very good with my risk management. I know my risk calculator. I know for my capital, I take out an amount which I call my maximum pain, the maximum amount I'm willing to lose, and I lot size based on that amount, not based on the whole capital. So I know how much I'm spreading across all types of different pending orders. And then I like to trade in clusters, so I monitor it. So clusters of 20 are normally good for me. Historically, I used to go 30, but 30 will be too many trades, and by the time I need to correct a mistake, it'll be too late, right? So 20 was good, and then I moved to 15, then I went back to 20, right? And so, guys, this is incredible. There's so much to show you. Pound JPY, you remember, my worst enemy, and we kept looking at pound JPY charts throughout, the month of of March, and I kept saying, well, we're not going to sell here. I explained why, and then I said there's definitely one place to sell, one place to buy. I took the buy, didn't take the sell, thank God, right? Well, thank God, because the sell is working, but I'm pretty sure it have been stopped out, right? So pound JPY, very nice clean trades, like all this stuff. We look at price, we agree on it days, if not weeks before, and then the job of a trader is not to trade any other thing. Don't trade outside of the plan, because that's going to mess you up in the long run, unless if you're constantly building quality trading setups, like if you're looking at other assets holistically. But there is nothing painfully wrong with waiting, right? Markets kind of like banged up here, and then eventually moved down all the way to where we're at a very good institutional demand level, and then we push price up, right? And we spoke about the extremes. We used the monthly time frame to do that. The video, once again, this is on war room number 59. All you have to do is come to the channel, find this is 58. Right, war room 59. I promise you, you'll find all these things. I absolutely promise you, you'll find them. You'll hear me explain them. You'll see me explain them. I can do playbacks if you want, just that it will make this video long. But the trading results for the month of March, and the first financial quarter, I felt like was a little bit difficult, especially in January and February for swing trades. Oh my goodness. We're being phased out, we're being stopped out, or we're actually just not being triggered at all, right? And then when the war came and the sentiment just took over, it just became worse. But in war room 59, somewhere inside this war room on a Sunday, 2 Sundays ago, we spoke about pound JPY, and we were looking at this thing, from a higher, a perspective, like a potential sell up there, and definitely a lower buy outside the governing supply, which I spoke about, right? Now, markets have removed all supplies. There's nothing left here, right? So as markets go down, just be very, be looking out for long-term direction to the upside as we start to climb slowly but surely. Remember, USD JPY, pound JPY, probably Euro JPY, all of them are going to have monetary policy divergence, as the dollar, pound, and euro, especially the pound and the euro, have both been very aggressive with increasing their interest rate hikes, which is very strong or good or bullish for that currency. While JPY maintains, a cheaper yen is good for how they use their micro policy and negotiate in the world. And so we expect prices to go up as anything that's paired with JPY if there's that monetary policy divergence, where one currency is aggressively increasing interest rates and JPY maintains zero to no movement, right? So all these charts are going to move the same way. I would encourage you, please, to check out today's war room, Sunday, the 3rd of April. Watch that thing, man. I put it together for you in the morning. So today's one won't be live because I wanted to make sure I do this video as well. Watch it. I do a little bit of teaching. I walk you through 10 charts with all the potential plays. Think about it this way. If you took the signals from the month of March seriously, you would have made a whole lot of money and lost very little money to none. That's what they are meant out of the March trades. Let me see. Pound AUD is still not yet triggered. There are a couple of trades that are still not yet triggered. So these war rooms are important. Go rewatch them in your own spare time to refresh yourself, because there are some movements still pending, right? Pound AUD, what a beautiful fall. What a beautiful fall. But guess what? I was not literally in it the first time it fell. So when we analyze pound AUD, we both agreed in war room 60. So pound AUD is from last week, Sunday. Right, so this markets haven't come back to where I think will be safe for us to get in, right? We spoke about how, look, man, there's a higher beautiful supply there. Remember, these lines are for those of you who attend the morning live London sessions on the 1 hour time frame. But for swing trade, we've got this red zone here just below the rectangle, which is starting to look very appetizing. Now that markets are now consolidating and breaking these lower demands, daily demand being taken out, markets could return to this red zone. Believe you me, it's now a good possibility. And then continue down. There's a sell profile asset. How do we know this? Top-down analysis. Top-down analysis will tell us a lot of things. Monthly supply upon monthly supply. Breaking monthly demands upon monthly demands, right? Where is markets coming from to even make this weird pattern? Coming from all the way to the top, right? So markets have been falling since the tech boom in 2000, fell during the 2008 liquidity crisis, or the banking and the housing crisis in the markets, and probably also fell in 2020 February. There you go, this drop here due to COVID, right? So naturally, this is a very risk sensitive asset, right? So we just want to be picked up in those swings. There are still many trade ideas. From War Room 60 alone, if you'll allow me to do this with you before I sign out, from War Room 60 alone, we've got a pound AUD, pound CAD, and pound NZD that are still not yet triggered. By that, I mean markets haven't come to where we are just waiting. We've set the limit orders and now we are waiting. We're not going to do anything. We're not going to be impulsive. We're not going to be greedy. We're going to wait. If we don't like that nothing is moving, we're going to go hunt in other places. Supply and demand traders, you take the gift of smart money concepts for granted. That's your problem. Shake my hand. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to be honest, man. I'm going to be honest. You take this thing for granted because you can now almost tell what's going on in the markets. You think the markets owe you something? Absolutely not. The game hasn't changed. You have to be patient and let these guys do what they do. Most of the time, jumping in too fast, always wanting to be active is what takes money away from you. Trading, don't care what the textbooks say, is simply the transference of wealth from a trader who knows better from your account to their account, right? And you have to know when to wait. The other trade, by the way, which was so painful, accurately predicted last week Sunday, was pound USD. And the only reason why we missed this trade, guys, or I missed this trade, was because this week I didn't do any of the London morning sessions that we normally do. Pound AUD came to the 1 hour supply block that we tracked in our 1 hour session about almost 2 weeks ago. I'll show you what I mean. It was actually quite incredible. I mean, when I see this, when I sit down, actually, sometimes I go through this emotion of, wow, I can't believe this is like a skill that we have now developed. Like, I really genuinely have a good sense and frame of where all the money in the world is, how it's moving. And all I have to do is to wait at the right training station with my little capital and partner up with the flow. It's incredible, right? So markets reacted to the red zone there that I've marked red. Sorry, let me just make this clear for you guys. Pound USD, I missed this by 9 pips, and I'll show you why. And it's because as a swing trader, I spoke about this last week Sunday. This is on War Room 60. It's there. Last week Sunday's War Room. Just come here to the channel 59 and boom, War Room 60, right? So we spoke about pound USD last week Sunday, and we spoke about potentially selling here. And the way I marked it, I said, well, I'll rather take trades inside the gray zone, right? And then I said, well, if I look at how to draw this area of value specifically, there's this as my area of competition. So if I'm going to compromise and sell early, I'm going to sell on the yellow. That's what I did, right? And I left it at that. We looked at daily and we probably kept it moving. Had I done a better breakdown, for example, had we had the morning London sessions, if you go to Wonder, where I normally have my charts marked up to the 1 hour time frame, where we do these routinely market open sessions, you'll realize that markets actually turned on a 1 hour order block just below, right? Just below that daily yellow zone. Markets actually turned and have been dropping ever since, right? So we really missed out on a beautiful sell right here on the 23rd of March. And markets have just been unforgiving, in that sense. And if you remember intraday, so for intraday setup, the last intraday trade idea that I gave out was a buy on pound USD. And I think we spoke about it in the public Telegram group. There was some governor who really said, or what he said, that markets just went berserkly crazy, right? And then I got liquidated out of this 100%. It was to me, this will still forever be a good buy. But this is what I want you to get. Smaller time frames or intraday schedule. Just you got to track the flow of money, man. And even I sometimes, as I switch between swing and intraday trading, I tend to lose sight of that sometimes, And so it's important that if we ever get back to the London session, as soon as I'm done putting together the course, at least preparing for module 4, and adding all our recurrent registered students to the actual new platform, right? It's very much important that when the London sessions come back, we're going to have to either do fewer pairs to do a thorough job, right? We can't skip multiple time frame analysis just so we look fancy, right? This was a very clean trade idea, looked very healthy, but unfortunately the flow of money was always to the downside. I mean, the last thing price did was break structure here, which could have been, traders will talk about different patterns and all that kind of things, but it was quite quite specifically painfully clear that markets wanted to go down, and we were trying to catch a market reversal, and for the most part, you know, we paid the price. Well, I paid the price. I got a stop loss hit here, but nonetheless, the swing trade ideas based on higher time frame movements have done exceptionally well. Don't be confused. On Sundays, I map out long-term swing trades. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 months type of hold. That's kind of like what I really like to do. I'm a swing trader. During the week at 9 a.m., with the exception of last week and this week, these 2 weeks, there'll be no London sessions. I generally also cover how markets open in the London session and tell you exactly how markets are going to move from price to price, teaching people how to apply scenario analysis on supply and demand as zones. Guys, I'm done. Thank you so much. Don't forget, at 4:30 p.m. today, in the next 33 minutes, there is going to be another brilliant take on the markets, a whole new war room. And I appreciate you if you watch it, have a look at it, or maybe you're going to watch the war room first, then this video. Maybe that might work out better that way. But I'm looking absolutely forward to kind of like hearing from you supply and demand traders. I feel like smart money concepts have put us in a perfect place. We're located right very close to the heartbeat of the markets. It doesn't have to be 100% strategy. You don't have to win 100% all the time. You 100% have to be the best version of yourself all the time. You 100% have to apply proper risk management on every single trade all the time. And the strategy doesn't have to give you a 100% win rate. If you show up 100% with good risk management 100% of the time, you are guaranteed to make money. And that's what you care about. Most traders don't care about the deeper information. They just want to make money, man. I hope this video enjoyed it. If you did like it, hit me a like. Let me know. It's one of the shortest videos I've ever done in the channel. And while I have your attention for the last time, you've got until the 9th. On the 9th of April, prices go up as we are currently celebrating another 365 Trading Academy anniversary, and we gave out our entire course with a 75% discount. So instead of $100 per module, you're going to get all 4 modules for $100. You must remember, guys, this is everything. Some of you don't even know about the different types of supplies and demands. Some of you don't even know that after you learn about the different types of supplies and demands, they've got different areas of value. Some of you don't know about the concepts that support these type of theories. Class effect, for example. Some of you just see order blocks and you think you can attack. Some of you don't know that these order blocks don't always translate on things like S&P 500 and NASDAQ, and what are you looking for there, right? There are many things that it's a holistic, well-structured course. You do those basic rules, the different types of supply and demands, the rules behind them, the imbalance, calculating order flows, all that stuff in module 1. And then in module 2, I give you the trader's edge, my trader's edge. I let you know, now that you know supply and demand, here are the ones that I pick for this scenario. And I introduce a couple of more new concepts, but also the few tools that I use. I don't use indicators. I hate indicators. So we look at the actual tools and how to correctly apply them with the different supply and demand levels. You know, it just depending on which lessons have been covered. There's always a PDF at the end of 5 or 6 lectures. Lectures about an hour, 30 minutes to 3 hours long. Just depends on the topic. It depends on the topic. But you know, there's not a chicken noodle type of course. This is real stuff, guys. The real lifetime stuff, you know, that's meant to benefit you. So you absolutely have to really take this stuff seriously. And then module 3 took 2 years to put together. People have been waiting for module 3 for a long time, and it's intraday trading mastery. The reason for that was, number one, I as a swing trader, I had to go back and learn. I have to learn, and one of the most painful ways to learn, and the right way to learn, is to put your own money on the line. So to take 1,000 trades and ensure that I understood the market and maintained the standard of an 85% win rate. So module 3 says, now that you understand module 1, just building the basics of supply and demand. Module 2, which is your trader's edge, like literally how to compete as an individual in a market that's designed against you. Here's how you can then now start to get, like, constant gains on phases if you're an intraday trader, like so small time frames, the zero-sum game, liquidity hunts, how to avoid them, how to track them, how to read them from an order flow perspective, the competitive analysis, how to use different trading sessions against each other. All of this, by the way, linked to supply and demand. I am a supply and demand trader. I don't mix. If I'm cooking chicken, I'm only cooking chicken. You're not going to get like 55 different types of dishes out of me, right? So it's very important. I keep emphasizing that I purely, thoroughly, willing to bet my life on smart money concepts, right? And that's why I'm doing this video, right? And then there's trend creation, understanding that kind of stuff, from a smaller time frame. Odd enhancers, right? How to build odd enhancers, which odd enhancers do you need? How many do you need before you can take a trade? Then I'm going to teach you about sequences and nested zones, and then we create our own trading sheet, right? And decision-making timetable. That's absolutely important. The number of retail traders who don't know how to trade with, collective data, especially supply and demand collective data, who can't track what the weekly, monthly, daily, H4, 2 hour, 1 hour, 50 minutes is doing. So their trades have zero confluence is amazing, right? The number is so big, right? And then finally, COT data, and I bring that up in a massive long-term, I think it's about a four lecture teaching series on how to quickly really unpack that data. But once again, if you forgot the point of this original video, in the month of March, I gave you guys 4 war rooms, war room 57, 58, 59, and war room 60, and in there, almost 18 trade calls, trade swings ideas, and AUD USD so far is the only one that eventually hit your stop loss, even though I warned you about it before that happened in the public Telegram group. In case you're not in the public Telegram group, the links for everything are down below this video. The links for our public Telegram group, which is free, join that, are the links to the YouTube channel. Obviously, where you're watching this video, please subscribe, hit the notification button, keep up with with the academy. The link for the course that's expiring at least 6 days time, we're going back to $400 US, and that price is going to stay like that until my birthday, maybe in December. I don't know. We're going to keep it flat. Like we agreed that the last 2 years our course has been on massive discounts, so it's now slowly but surely time to match the value that you're being given to the price. I think $100 US per module is fair. The only module you can pay for separately, by the way, is the trading course module, because the trading psychology course module is something that all traders need. It doesn't matter the strategy. If you don't care for our strategy, but you just want to get your mind right, I will be going live on the 12th of April. Do not miss this. I'll be going live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. This will be private classes. They're not going to be uploaded on YouTube live. So if you don't want to pay, it's just that now it doesn't make sense, because between the 3rd of April until the 9th of April, it's $100 US for everything. But if you start registering after the 9th of April and you're not really registered, then you can pay $100 just for module 4, right? So I'll use the $100 and get the whole thing, get the PDFs, get the one-on-ones, after you complete the course, you've got questions, type of stuff, all that stuff comes with the package deal. 365, see you at the war room at 4:30 p.m. today, Sunday. And see you during the week as we discuss, and we kind of like keep looking at the unfolding patterns of the markets. Guys, if the first financial quarter of the year beats the living daylights out of you, that's okay. It's time to get up now. Right, second financial quarter is here. You are so far from giving up. You are so far from not achieving your financial goals, but it's not magic. I'm not your solution. You are your own solution. You got to become your own solution. This channel is here for you. Subscribe to the channel, but more importantly, if you do subscribe, if you watch our stuff, take it seriously now. We cannot be at a place where 4 war rooms, 1 stop loss hit, right? We've got a couple of trades that are waiting to trigger, especially from last week Sunday, still early. Most of my swing predictions are always about 2 weeks in advance, give or take. That's why every Sunday we add, we keep building. What's been triggered, do we protect it? Do we stop loss? Do we break even? Do we take some profits? You keep building. At the end of the year, you judge yourself as a trader. Don't judge yourself by cluster 1, with a few series of losses here. If you protect yourself, risk management, you'll always have enough capital and at least stamina and confidence to fight back. My name is Leroy James, my series. Shake my hand one more time, and I'll see you on the other side, man. 3, 6, 5.